Let's try this one more time. Roadstar Sports here. This is making sense. Please reply, like the content, subscribe to the channel. Really appreciate it. Let's hope that I don't get interrupted again before I finish what I was going to say. Listen, man. The reports continued and continue, and people continue, and they continue to talk about Ezekiel Elliott. I'm going to have Zeke back 110%. Just because where the same way they want to talk about Dak Prescott doesn't have time to throw the football and he's some garbage, and get rid of Dak, and get rid of Zeke and get rid of Dak. Get rid of Dak and get rid of Zeke. You put in Cooper Rush. And like I said, I wouldn't rush to put Cooper nowhere. Nor do I want Cooper to rush me anything. But having said that, everybody want to talk about Ezekiel Elliott has lost it. He's not the same bag, blah, 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 blah. This brother is 29, maybe 30 something, 30 years old, maybe 30, maybe, give or take. You don't lose what you had like that. You just don't. See, what people fail to realize, talk about Zeke doesn't have it no more. Let me tell you something. There have been plenty of years that Ezekiel Elliott has made the offensive line look good because of how strong he was, how big he was, and what he did. But nonetheless, we had somewhat of a good offensive line and a cohesive unit. Tyron Smith. We had Frederick. We had Zach Martin, and a couple of other guys. Who was that? The brother we let go. Who was on the right side? I can't think of his name. But nonetheless, during that time frame, we had a pretty good unit. This is like right around the Doug Free. Doug Free was our probably worst tackle, offensive tackle during that time. But we had a very, very good cohesive unit. And we had a very good offensive line coach. For those that don't know, for those that don't care to know, whatever. But you want to say Ezekiel Elliott is not the same. He's not. Man, get rid of Zeke. Like Rico Dowdle is doing that much better. Now, granted, he's had a few good games, but let's talk about this very quickly about touches. Let's talk about productivity. Let's talk about being in the position to always have your hands on the football. Let's talk about that. Because it is imperative that we understand from a running back's perspective. Now, I know DMV can talk about this. Me and DMV can have a good discussion about running backs. If a running back does not have the touches, if a running back is not being comfortable, has not been comfortable handling the football, what are you going to get? Fumbles? Turnovers? There's a level of comfortability that takes place when a running back is ushered in to play the game, to play his position. Ezekiel Elliott, all year long, he been uncomfortable. One, uncomfortable because the defensive line is some straight garbage. The defensive line is some straight garbage. Garbage. Trash is the offensive line. Now, I've been optimistic in saying that they have an opportunity And the reason why I've said they have an opportunity is not because of the offense. Newsflash, it's because of the defense. Okay, I just wanted to establish that very quickly. But let's get back to Ezekiel Elliott. Ezekiel Elliott has been in an inconsistent state with this team since the day of game one. Inconsistent. They were bobbleheads trying to figure out who they was going to start, who's on first, what's on second, how's on third, when is on first. I mean, the whole thing was all crazy. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Instead of them saying, Donald is going to be our number one back, bottom line, Zeke will come in third down or whatever, or Zeke is going to be our bell cow, he's going to be our every down back, Donald will come in third down in special situations. But you got this dude 40 coming in, and we like, what the hell are y'all doing? You got some good running backs, but guess what? You know what the issue is? The issue is the schematics of the game on offense with Mike McCarthy at helm, with his inconsistency with his running backs. And I tell everybody the same thing over and over again. He's been that way since after 2010. 2011 on up. He has been sporadic and inconsistent with the running game. Not one running back that Mike McCarthy has had after 2010 had 1,000 yards rushing. Eddie Lacy was the last one. Look it up. Eddie Lacy was the last running back to have 1,000 yards. What in the world do you think Ezekiel Elliott was going to do with Mike McCarthy as the head coach? Because he's a passing coach first. He's not a running back coach. He doesn't know how to have a balance in the offense attack. We got rid of Kellen Moore, who was willing to run the football, more so than Mike McCarthy did, at least. Yeah, I wanted Kellen Moore gone too, but I didn't want Kellen Moore gone to get this. Because this dude, man, doesn't know football in terms of balancing the attack to win. There's no way that our quarterback should be running back 50 times or more to be throwing the football. And you're going to allow Cooper Rush to throw the football over 50 times in the game? Are you crazy? Cooper Rush act like he throws the football with his elbows. Every time he gets ready to throw, I swear, I'm thinking, oh Lord, it's going to be an interception. It's going to be an interception. This incompletion. I'll take the incompletion. Ezekiel Elliott, this game, 1 carry for 4 yards. The next game, 2 carries for 8 yards. Let me tell you something. If you're not putting my running back in a good position to win the battle, don't even put him in the game. Because you are trying to make him look bad. See, y'all don't understand what the Dallas Cowboys has done to running backs, from Julius Jones all to DeMarco Murray to who was it? Tony Pollard. I don't care who you put. Marion Barber. I don't care who you put in the game. They've been doing this to the running backs for years. They'll use them up and declare that they ain't no good until they go somewhere else. Pollard, over 1,000 yards. You might say, well, Ezekiel Elliott didn't have 1,000 yards. He didn't even have, what 600 yards with the Patriots. But that's because the Patriots already had a good running back. They already had a running back. Zeke came in as the backup. So if I'm the running back and this my house, bro, guess what? You ain't going to take my spot. Zeke understood the role when he went in there. But this time when he came here back to Dallas, the role was not solidified in terms of who was going to be on first, who was going to be on second, third, and so forth. First, home plate, nobody knew. We all going into the first game like, who they going to start? The commentators like, well, who's going to play? That hasn't been solidified yet. That's because they stupid. It hasn't been solidified because the Dallas Cowboys got a busted, broke down, welfare offensive line. And y'all expect Ezekiel Elliott to go in there and make wonders. You expect Dak Prescott to make wonders with this offensive line they got. This offensive line is atrocious. Why do you think none of the receivers can get open? The offensive line can't hold blocks. The offensive line don't know schemes. They don't even use the offensive line to even pull anymore. Ezekiel Elliott is a bum. Ezekiel Elliott can't play no more. Man, you done lost your mind. If you honestly believe that Ezekiel Elliott cannot play no more, you've lost your everlasting mind. You don't, man, you know what? You smoking that ooh-wee. He haven't even had an opportunity consistently to be effective. Nah. Who in the hell can be effective 1 carry a game, 2 carries a game? That's been the average. I don't even think Ezekiel Elliott has even had over 4 or 5 carries a game in 1 game. But everybody say, oh, Dottle. Well, then when they made their mind up to say Dottle is going to get most of the carries, then Dottle numbers went up because they sticking with Dottle. What do you think was going to happen if they stuck with Zeke? Numbers going to go up. The numbers going to go up. Because they're giving Zeke garbage plays. Y'all don't see that. They're giving the man garbage plays and trying to see if he going to make something work with a garbage play. But you giving Ezekiel, you giving Dottle, you giving this dude all of the carries, all the good shit. You giving him the good shit. You giving Ezekiel Elliott some crumbs. See if you can make. Let's see if we can make do with this. Bull. That's some bull crap, man. So when I'm seeing these reports coming, every time I look around, you throwing Ezekiel Elliott, spent money on Ezekiel Elliott. They brought Ezekiel Elliott back, digressing Ezekiel Elliott. Man, nobody want to talk about the offensive line. The offensive line is what helps the running back to excel. Whether it's a mediocre offensive line and Ezekiel Elliott is making the offensive line look good, or you got a bona fide offensive line. That means you got a good left tackle, right tackle, and in between the guards, you have a good cohesive unit that's able to push the defense back, open up holes, open up lanes, hold their blocks, so that the running backs and the quarterback can be effective in their positions. The Dallas Cowboys don't have that. Oh, but as soon as Ezekiel Elliott end up going to another team, Washington, who knows? Go to the Jets, who knows? The Buffalo Bills, who knows? Wherever he goes, I guarantee you, he looks better than he does in Dallas. We can look at the Commanders right now and look at that defense that they got right now. Most of all the pieces came from Dallas. Now, how are they playing better over in Washington, but they ain't playing? They wasn't any good over here. We couldn't use them. No, it was who was coaching them. The bottom line, ladies and gentlemen, is that the Dallas Cowboys refuse to get out of their own way. The Dallas Cowboys are incompetent as it relates to football philosophy, the game itself as it relates to the running attack, having a balanced running attack and offense attack and receiving core. The 3 phases of the offense got to be clicking. The offensive line, the running back, and the quarterback. It all has to be clicking. Who in the world, and this is another thing that I have an issue with. Why do you got 40 in the game or Dowdle in the game, and there one of them can block better than Ezekiel Elliott? Not one. There's no running back in the game that's going to block better than Ezekiel Elliott to keep your quarterback upright. Nah. This right here, man, it's a malarkey. And the more and more I see reports coming out with Ezekiel Elliott's name attached to it or his picture attached to it with fans in the back booing, man, nobody booing like that, man. If you understood football, let me tell you something. First and foremost, you're going to understand the game to the point to say this man ain't even had a fair shake at running back this year. You got eyes to see. You're going to say, man, he ain't had a fair shake at running back this year. If you want to point the fingers at a group of guys other than Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott, point your fingers at the offensive line, please. Because the offensive line with Guyton, the offensive line with I might as well say, I'm not going to say he's a has-been, but they used him up. Zach Martin, they used Zach Martin up. Zach Martin is not even a shell of himself. The only one that's playing pretty good is Tyron, what is his name? The other Smith. Is it Smith or Taylor? One of them. He's holding his own. He's holding his own. Now, this new center that they got, this new brother that they got, oh, he a beast. If you can put a string together a group of tackles and guards with him, you'll have yourself an offensive line, man. You're gonna have yourself an offensive man. What is his name? Let me pull him up. I really like him. I really like him. Really like this guy. Let me see. No, not him. What is his name, man? I think it's Zach Martin's sub. I can't think of his name, man. Who took Zach Martin's place for the Dallas Cowboys? Hoffman. Yes. I'm not sweet by no stretch of the imagination. I ain't got no sugar in my tank, I'm telling you right now. But I'll smack a good one on this brother right here because he's a beast. Brock Hoffman. Beast. He reminds me of Larry Allen. Beast. Nasty with it. Beast. He is the only offensive lineman that the Dallas Cowboys have that can be a saving grace if the Dallas Cowboys get some more offensive linemen like him. Couldn't think of his name, but that's his name. Brock Hoffman. Beast. Oh, man. Beast. Nasty with it. Love it. That's my dude. That's my dude right there. Now, if you had this brother along with some other brothers that's blocking, man, you ain't gonna tell me that you won't see Ezekiel Elliott of old. And if Ezekiel Elliott gets in the secondary, they don't want to tackle him anyway. They happy as hell to attack Zeke behind the line of scrimmage. Happy to get a hold of him because the offensive line just parted the damn Red Sea. You can go ahead and get him. Go ahead. Help yourself. Get him. I don't want to block him anyway. Never seen the offensive line so discombobulated. It's unreal, man. But everybody want to blame Zeke. The Dallas Cowboys bought back Ezekiel Elliott for what? Well, Ezekiel Elliott is asking the same damn question. What the hell did bring me back for if you're gonna play me only one snap of the damn game? One snap a game and Ezekiel Elliott is supposed to be Superman. Man, get out of here. Learn football, man. Learn football. I don't like it. I never will like it. I love the running backs that the Cowboys have had, but every last one of them, they've done them wrong. Especially, and I know Jerry Jones wasn't even part of the picture, but it seems like there's something connected with the Cowboys, and I love me some Tex Ram, and I love me some Tom Landry. That's my crew. I love them, but how they did Tony Dorsett was wrong. How Dallas did Emmitt Smith was wrong because the offensive line deteriorated. It wasn't the same. You didn't go out and get more players on the offensive line to help Emmitt because we knew Emmitt never had top speed. We knew Emmitt was quick, but he wasn't fast. But Emmitt Smith knew football and he knew holes. He knew how, if you use your peripheral vision, even though the hole is to the right, if my peripheral vision has daylight, I'm going there. That was Emmitt, that was Tony Dorsett, and that was DeMarco Murray. That was the running backs. Come on, man. Even Calvin Grant was a hellified running back. He had vision. And the Dallas Cowboys do it to every running back that they have. Everyone. Yes, we got rid of DeMarco Murray. We got Zeke. But at the end of the day, you're using what? You're using him up. You're not giving no help. The offensive line is a huge liability. Huge. It's ridiculous. But Zeke is the fault. Zeke is the fault. How about y'all blame the offensive line? Because the offensive line is some cut ass. It stinks. The offensive line has diarrhea. There's a problem back there. But nobody want to talk about the offensive line. Nobody want to talk about Zeke. Well, if you ain't never played the running back position, don't tell me about running backs. Because I happen to know that running backs need the tackles and the guards to do their job. And neither one of them are able or capable of doing their job. Now, I was the main one that was talking about how in the world can Emmitt Smith, before he even get the handoff, listen, before Emmitt can even get the handoff from Troy, the defenders is all over him. In the backfield. Oh, but Emmitt not the same. Emmitt not the same. Emmitt not the same. We see the same thing happen with Zeke. Before Zeke can even get the football in his hand, the defenders is all over him. Not just one, but 3 or 4 of them, all over him. How in the world is this happening? How? How is this happening? Well, I'll tell you why it's happened. I'll tell you how it happened. I'll tell you why it happened. It happened because of the offensive line. It's some garbage. The offensive line started to be garbage with Emmitt, and the offensive line is some garbage now with Zeke. The offensive line was starting to be garbage before Dallas decided to let go Zeke. You want to know why? Because the Dallas Cowboys would not go and get some bona fide offensive tackles or guards to help keep your quarterback upright and your running back to get through some holes. They didn't want to do that. Dallas was so focused on getting some exotic players that they forgot about what made the Dallas Cowboys great. Now here's my last closing point. What made the Dallas Cowboys great was the offensive line. You want to know why? Because the late John Madden always talked about it. Oh, when you got those guys, got all that going down behind their leg. Look, they're sweating all the way down to their ankles. You see all that going on? He's circling, making circles in the TV. Yeah, you see all that going on? They got a lot going on. The Dallas Cowboys, each delivered as one of them is close to 325. And man, who's going to move all that around constantly? It just wear down the defense. And there goes Emmitt for another 20-yard run. This offensive line got it going now. Well, you can't get it going until you get all that going on behind you. Then when you start getting all that sweat going on down there behind you, then you know you got it going on. You know, it's hard to stop those guys when they get that thing going, but they ain't really getting it going until they get that going behind them. John Madden, the great John Madden, talked about the Dallas Cowboys offensive line, how we had Eric Allen, we had Dirk Kennard, we had I'm sorry, it was Eric, what is his daggone name? Eric, Eric. Let's start with the first name. Eric, we had Derek, we had Larry, we had Mark Stepnoski, we had Nate Newton. Okay, we had ourselves a good offensive line. All right, wasn't nobody running on that offensive line. And all of them had sweat going on behind the back of their legs, and them boys was working out there. They was working. It wasn't nobody that's going to run or attack this offensive line because we manhandled them. That's why I like Hoffman. Okay? That's why I like this dude right here. Brock Hoffman, love him. Because he give me that same, he give me what I need, man. The rest of the offensive line, man, is some cut. Yeah, I'm a little ticked off about this thing. You know, Cowboys would, and let me say this right here, man, in closing. I didn't like Coach Clapp. I mean, but I appreciate the dude because at least he knew how to put together a balanced attack. And if the talks are true, which I believe that they are, and if Jerry Jones stayed in his place and let these guys coach this football team, I even believe that Coach Clapp now would have been able to take this team further than they did. Because he kept taking the damn players away from them. At least he knew how to have a balanced attack. He even came up with, okay, let's have DeMarco Murray and Barber in the game at the same time. We're going to give you a heavy dose of DeMarco Murray, and then in the second half, we're going to give you a heavy dose of Barber. And then we'll finish you off with DeMarco Murray. Come on, man. Come on. This guy doesn't know how to put together a balanced attack. I don't care if he doesn't say Jerry Jones don't want this and don't want that. I guarantee you that Jerry Jones is not telling him to allow Dak Prescott or Cooper Rush to throw the ball over 50 times when that's the reason why they eliminated the over 50 times against Romo. Because Romo was throwing interceptions and they told Romo no more. No more Romo throwing interceptions and throwing the ball over 50 yards. We are going to give you DeMarco Murray and Barber. That's what we're going to give you. And I find it hard to believe that Jerry Jones has gone back to the same thing with Dak Prescott and Cooper Rush, allowing them to throw the football over 50 times and an increase in interceptions and turnovers and getting sacked. I don't see it. I don't see it. But I do believe that Mike McCarthy is part of this because this is the same thing that Mike McCarthy was doing after 2010. Same offense, same strategy. Aaron Rodgers, throw the football more, we'll run the football less. And be ineffective. In other words, he intentionally made the offense one-dimensional. Man, I'm gonna let it ride, Ray. I'm gonna go ahead and have me some fun tonight. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go ahead and do some fun. I ain't gonna let these damn Dallas Cowboys and these fake wannabe analysts, social media analysts, or whatever you want to call these dudes who want to be a guru. Look, I know football. Okay, and what I see out there on the football field right now that they got out there, especially in that offensive line, is some garbage. Now, kudos to the defense because they've gotten their stuff together. With the exception of whatever his name is, wannabe or whatever, that fumble, whatever that, that's something different. The injury too, Overshown, that's different. God bless him, praying for him and everything like that. But aside from all that, the defense has been coming alive at the right time in strides, and it's a shame that the offense is not following suit. There's no reason why you can't put together no running back screens. You can't put together no flares. You can't throw no running back option passes or anything like that to get these boys running, get these horses running. You can't put design no plays, stretch the field with Mingo and CeeDee Lamb, and now you got Cobbs back. You ain't doing no misdirectionals. You ain't doing nothing. No skinny posts. You ain't doing nothing. I can't believe it. With all the talent that we got, this is the offense that they're putting out on the football field as it relates to strategy. Now, I'm tired of this analytic talk, man. I'm tired of that. I want to talk about some draw some damn plays up in the dirt. I don't give a damn what the hell you do. But I mean, you know what? Stop making something happen, man, because I'm tired of analytics. How about them Cowboys? Love my boys to life. CB for L. You know what I'm saying? That's what we do. Ride or die. How about them Cowboys? And we still. Make no mistake about it. Philly fandom, whoever, Commanders, my boy Dak Attack called them Commoders, whatever. The Giants, the little Giants. We still America's team. And you can take that to the bank. How about them Cowboys? Man. Deuces.